Hi everyone, welcome to Club 2 episode 16 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So this is the final game of this particular season with Connah's Quay Nomads in the Welsh Premier League. Well, in that sense, we finished the Welsh Premier League last episode, and if you joined us for that, please go and watch it. It was brilliant. But we won the title on the very last day of the season. We were 1 point behind the New Saints going into the last day. We played the New Saints on the last day and we absolutely thumped them. I was absolutely delighted with it. 3-0 win, and we won the league on the last day of the season, which was brilliant. And now we get the very last game of this particular season, again against the New Saints, and this time in the Welsh Cup Final. And so it's an opportunity for a double bit of silverware. And to be honest, whatever happens today, I don't really mind, because we achieved so much in the last episode that you can't take the shine off of that. But it would be absolutely amazing to do the double in the Welsh leagues. And so we're going to give it as good a go as we can. But it wouldn't surprise me if the New Saints came back at us and really tried to hurt us because of what we did to them in the very last match. Anyway, there's not much else to tell you really. Nothing has changed. No contracts have been signed from the ones that I want to sign new contracts. The likes of McBurney, etc. still aren't wanting to negotiate with me, even now we've qualified for the Champions League, but that hasn't been officially confirmed yet, so I guess we'll have to wait till the very end of the season and go into the summer before maybe they'll talk to me before their deals are up. But we could potentially lose a few players in the summer that I don't want to lose. If we go and look at the expiry dates, so you've got the likes of Rodgers and McBurney and Harris and Edwards and Gibbs. I don't mind too much about. We've got replacements for all of them, but it's Rodgers and McBurney I really want to keep if I can. So I'm going to continue to try and work with them and see if we can offer a contract. But if we do it again here and just offer McBurney a contract, he just doesn't think that the squad is strong enough to get the level that he's wanting to reach. But we've qualified for the Champions League, so hopefully at some point he will renegotiate with us. Rodgers is the other one. Let's just go and check him, and he's in exactly the same position at the moment. So hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, when they get an opportunity to see that we've really qualified for the Champions League and they can play that here, at least for one round. We won't talk about that to them, but I'm not sure I expect to get much further than the first qualifying round, but we'll see. But hopefully that will change their minds. But that's something I'll have to deal with over the summer after this particular match. In terms of the finance of the club, obviously they're going to be impacted again if we can win the cup competition. That will give us another bit of money. We're trying to get our club into the black. It's been about the 50-60 grand mark in debt ever since I've taken over, so I'm trying as much as I can to try and get it back into the black, and we've done pretty well with that so far this season, but we're going to have to continue to work towards that for next season as well, I would suggest. And any of that's for another day really. Today's all about the cup final, so put your suit on and let's go and lead our club out for potential trophy number 2. So let's just go and have a look at the squad. In terms of the personnel, everybody's still fit and healthy. If you remember, Sarmento came off with a low conditioning in the last match, but he's recovered from that very well, so he takes his place in the starting 11. In the cup competition, we only get 5 substitutes and not the 7 that is normal. So today's team is going to be pretty much what it was before, and it's Brass in goal, Tatum at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Hazel, Rodgers and McBurney in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Parry on the left, Busumbro up top, with a shortened bench of Hope, Harden, Harris, Fenlon and Graham. So let's get into the Welsh Cup Final and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, what else could we do other than to tell the team that we expect them to pick up where they left off? And so my assistant has said that. He said if you can pick up where you left off the last match, then you'll get your hands on that trophy. And that got a slightly muted response, I must say. I was hoping for a bit more, but that's okay. One of those games. It's still a cup final, so it's going to be a bit nervy potentially for the first 15-20 minutes. Nothing seems to have changed in the formation or the players in the New Saints side, and similarly for us. So let's see what happens in this particular game. A slightly empty stadium for a cup final. I'd have hoped for a few more fans than that, but never mind. We are in our red, and the New Saints are in their white and green. And so let's see what the first highlight brings. You can see there's a couple of shots at goal from both sides, but nothing on target enough to warrant a highlight at this point. And it started less exciting than the original game did against the two last episode, where we took a very early lead. But now is an opportunity for us to break on them with Sarmento. Can he find the ball over wide left to Parry? He can't. He loses the ball in midfield, and they mop it up very nicely and go over the top. But Tatum in the right back position picks up the loose ball very nicely, and again we play loose, keep ball in midfield, but then go over the top too early potentially, and it wasn't right. And they're doing the same, and nobody seems to be finding that key pass at the moment. We keep both losing it in midfield, and again they've done so again, and Parry picks up the ball and again go too early. We need to be passing the ball around and making them move to open the space up. But here's an opportunity for the New Saints. They've managed to get under control and work down this left-hand side, cut it in centrally, and the shot's coming imminently, but it goes slightly over the top of the bar. I think Brass had his crossbar covered. But even so, it was a very odd passage of play, wasn't it, really? Both teams going too long, too early. Here's an opportunity for us down the right-hand side, but it gets blocked. Is Hazel going to pick up the loose ball? He's not. And Yusuf comes away with the ball for the New Saints, and Hazel gets a good foot in, good challenge, and Tatum picks up the loose ball. Can we move it back out of defence and not go too early? Again, we went up too early, I think, and we lost the ball again in that sort of defensive midfield area. And the New Saints come away with the ball and again go over the top themselves, but this time they pick up the loose ball, and that's disappointing for us, and they get into the box. A good block on the shot from Tatum or Gardner, one or the other, and there's another really good effort from the New Saints, but it goes slightly narrowly wide of the post. And the warning signs are there, aren't they, that so far they've dominated those early opportunities, and it's an opportunity again for the New Saints down the left hand side with a throw in. They take it centrally and then all the way wide right to Harris on their right wide right hand side, but it's pushed backwards into their defensive area, and again they go long to this left hand side, and they get another good shot away, and there's the warning signs. They've paid off for them. That's been coming for a long time in this first half, hasn't it, really? We've been unable to really cement our own style of play on the game completely, and it's been very, very bitty and very messy, and always losing the ball to each other. And eventually the only difference in the two sides so far has been they've had many, many more efforts on goal than we have. Can we hit back straight away and really shock the game potentially into life? The cross comes in, it's Parry underneath the ball, Busumbru, Parry again, and the goalkeeper pushes it onto his post, and that was a really good save. Good couple of efforts from Parry there. And the ball goes out for a corner kick. Sarmento with the corner kick into the far post area. Rogers picks up the loose ball, has a pot shot, but it's blocked. Gardner tries to have another go, but that's also blocked, and then the highlight goes. Are we going to drift to half-time at this point? That'd be disappointing if we did. Look at all this frustration in the New Saints. I don't know what they've got to be frustrated for. They're sitting one up. But it was a very, very disappointing first half for us. We had a fair amount of possession, but look at that, we had 4 shots, but only 1 on target the entire half, and that's not good enough. So we're going to assertively say, show me something different, and then we're going to try and build them up if we can. I've got faith in you. That's a sort of positive message we're going to give each of the areas of our side, and hopefully get them believing that they can still get something out of this game, and get them going into the second half believing that they can play better than they did and try and impact the game more than they did. So here's a first opportunity at 47 minutes, couple of minutes into the second half. We get to build up from the back into Rogers. Over the top, a much better ball from Rogers to Busumbru. Can he put it away? No, the goalkeeper makes himself big and stands up tall and parries the ball away. And so it was good movement though. Much better ball over the top this time from Rogers for Busumbru, but he didn't quite have the quality on the finish. Time's drifting away a little bit. We've passed the hour mark and we still haven't had really many key opportunities. Busumbru with a good header back into midfield, but it drifts slightly deep, and the New Saints pick it up again with Sturk in midfield, and they come back at us down this left hand side. They cut in on the right foot, and it's a slightly tame effort on that occasion, and the goalkeeper picks it up with no major problems. But again, we didn't quite get our passing right, and it went loose. and that's when we're losing the ball. So we're going to have to make a couple of decisions here, because it's not good enough, is it, so far? We've got 3 6.3 ratings, and so those are the guys that are going to have to come off. Everybody's reasonably fit and healthy. We've also got a yellow card there. So if we bring Hazel off and put Harris on, we're going to have to play... Let's put Fenlon on and move him to the right and play Sarmento on the left. And then Busumbru's coming off with that yellow card and the low rating, and Graham will come on, and see if that can make a difference in the last few sort of 15 minutes of the game. But again, time's ticking on, and we're going to have to go much more attacking. So we'll go very attacking for the last few minutes. And there was a perfect opportunity off a corner kick for Graham, but a good block on the line, and it doesn't quite work out for us. But Sarmento, again, with another corner kick, goes to the far post. They get it partially cleared and then fully cleared, do they? Still only partially. Gardner picks up the loose ball, but the highlight dies. Have we got one last attempt in us? Otherwise, this game has drifted away into nothingness, and yeah, it did. It's kind of what I expected to happen a bit after the last game in the last episode, where we absolutely thumped them. I thought this was going to be a slightly nervier affair, and ultimately they came back at us and were really, really hard to beat. And this is kind of what I expected from the last match, which never materialised. We came back into the game a little bit in that second half, but unfortunately just didn't quite have enough. I think on the quiet, maybe the players have been partying too hard since the last game of the final game of the Welsh Premier League season, where we won the title. I think maybe they're all playing with hangovers, but we won't talk about that too much because the board of directors might be listening. But yeah, anyway, it was hard. It was a tough game. So the assistant manager suggests don't be too hard on them, and we'll let him deal with that. That is absolutely fine. We don't want to berate them after all. The season that they've just had has been immense. So a slightly disappointing 1-0 defeat in the Welsh Cup Final. So the New Saints lift the trophy. We got beaten in the final. We've been given another $8,000. We'll go and have a look at that in a second. We've paid out some stuff for the squad and the staff for reaching finals and stuff. And that means, look at that. We've gone from like 50 to 60 grand in debt to $6,000 in debt over the last week or so, which has been incredible. We're going to have to work really hard to keep that up over the summer, though, and not go any further, and try and get this club back into the black, which is one of the issues that we've faced since we came here. You can see that ever since I came here, it's just always been below that black line. So yeah, that's something I've got to work on in the summer, see if we can continue that trend. But ultimately, what do we say about that particular final? It was a hard cup final, hard fought. It wasn't particularly exciting necessarily, although I think we had one or two decent opportunities that we didn't take. But ultimately it came at the end of a very, very successful season, one in which we won the Welsh Premier League when we were only predicted to finish 5th. And I'm absolutely ecstatic and delighted by that. So bring on next season, bring on the Champions League qualifying round at some point. And for me now, for the next few hours of my existence, I've got to go through that transfer window and see if I can get a balanced squad for next season. We are going to lose a couple of players, I suspect. We're going to get rid of a couple. We might even lose a couple for end of contract issues that I can't sign more, that I can't sign them back on again because they're not interested. There's lots of things that might change. So hope you'll join me for the next episode, where I will go through all of that with you and show you where we're at, and probably play the qualifying round. I suspect that will be the first game of our season next year, so it'll probably be that we come back for. But yeah, thanks very much for joining me. My voice is going a little bit. The last episode was a bit too exciting for my throat, I think, and I probably overdid it slightly, and so I'm struggling a bit. Anyway, that's not something you need to worry about. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm absolutely loving this series. I suspect we've got one more year with Connah's Quay Nomads to go through that European stuff, unless a really interesting offer comes in from another side. I've just signed a new contract at Connah's Quay Nomads, but it doesn't mean that I'm not interested in moving on if the right big club comes in. But we'll have to pay attention to that over the summer. If there's an opportunity to make a decision, I'll just have to make the decision I think is right, and we'll have to go with it. But I might be with somebody else at the beginning of the next season, but I doubt it. I hope it will be Connah's Quay Nomads, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, hope you're enjoying the series. I'm loving it. If you are, please subscribe to the channel. That helps you get up to date with all the videos that I release. If you enjoyed this episode, slightly hard episode, unfortunately, with that loss, but if you did enjoy this particular episode, then why not click a like on it for me? That helps me get seen by other people in the YouTube search engines. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're having a great time doing it. Let me know about your save in the comments below. Always interested to hear your stories. But until next time, until next season, take care of yourselves. I will see you very soon, and bye for now.